What's up guys, back in another Konosuba video. In today's video, I'm going to go over team building and generally how to play the best in Konosuba Fantastic Days. So this is kind of a part 2 to my beginner's guide. And in that video I did say if, even if just like one or two people asked, I'd make it. I already had plans on making it, but might as well just make it now instead of later, because I do plan on making a bunch of Star related content, so I wanted to get this out before it got lost and it was just posted way too late. So let's get into it. So I'm going to be fighting the event boss, which is weak to Earth, so I'm going to make a Earth centered team. Do note that some teams are going to have different usage, like for fire you're probably going to use Megumi and her railgun. So you might have a team that is more focused on rushing ult, so she can get her ult faster. There's also gauge up subs or allowing her to get hit, so you can get more ult gauge. For this one, I'm just going to do general purpose. That stuff is more arena based, and there are plenty of other people that are more qualified than me to do that. So this is just general team purposes that should work for a majority of content. Do note that I'm going to be making this team with a weakness in mind, which gets us into our first character, which is going to be Melissa. Now, the reason I'm picking Melissa is because Melissa has resistance shred, meaning when I hit the opponent with an attack that does super effective damage, it'll do more damage. Right here, elemental weakness. Plus, she's Earth, she does more damage if they're debuffed, and then she has a super that lowers their defense. That's not going to be super relevant for us right now because we are going to be using two mages up front. That is because Veneer is extremely good for two reasons. One, he hits pretty hard. Two, he has the cooldown reduction. I guess the third one is a party trait. If you can have certain characters with a party trait on a single elemental team, it'll make your damage go up a lot. As you can see, 6%, a lot more than 2% plus, since Melissa is our resistance shred unit and Veneer is one of our better damage dealers. They are physical and magical respectively, so the earth damage will work for both of them, except for obviously Melissa's ult or her basic attack, but for the most part you're just getting more damage. And then we're going to go ahead and use this because it lowers the opponent's agility and boosts Veneer's magic attack. Then for our third slot, because we don't have any buffers, we only have a debuffer and Veneer does cooldown reduction, we are going to bring this Wiz. It also helps out because none of these characters, well, Melissa can heal if I wanted her to. And I'm pretty sure this ult ironically actually heals the undead. Since we have both, we won't have to worry about, a healer interrupting Veneer by just... It's only 4 damage, but fun enough. I've lived with 1 HP and then killed myself through a healing spell. So we're just going to go ahead and bring the magic defense and agility. I know Veneer already has agility down on his ult, but we can make sure we can sort of loop it, uses one of their ults, and then when the buff is about to run out for the enemy, we can use the other ult. Plus, Wiz's ult lowers their magic defense, while she upgrades their magic attack and has a moderate reduction to lightning damage for all allies, which is going to make sure that Veneer and Melissa can live a bit longer. Melissa's probably going to die first, which is ideal. In some scenarios, you're going to want a character to die so you can get another character out. And for that, we're actually going to bring Festival Chris, right? Now, normally, you wouldn't bring a off-element character, but she has the other Earth Chris's skills, but better. Cooldown reduction and boost to agility for all allies. So we're going to go ahead and bring that, and then since we already have 2 characters that slow, we're going to be using her physical magic attack up. Pretty much that will allow, just in case if Wiz dies, we can still get a magic buff to Veneer when he doesn't have his ult buff, or we can give it to Melissa, which is nice. Or, obviously, if Melissa dies, it can give the magic buff to Wiz and Veneer, and Wiz doesn't have it. You get the gist of it. It'll help in a bunch of ways. Plus the agility up, it goes crazy. And hopefully Melissa will go down right after she does her resistance shred. That way Veneer and Wiz will have it up to more damage as long as possible. Paired with the agility buff, it should do a lot of damage. Now the last slot is a character that you probably are just going to have out for probably just a few seconds, or if they come out if you're having a bad run. We are going to go ahead and use this Yin. The reason we are using this Yin is because, one, let's just go ahead and change her ult to that one. I doubt we're going to get her ult in this if she even comes out, but this Yin has a skill that boosts super gauge. So pretty much my thought on that is, right, you need to have a cooldown reduction unit there or an ult character that when they come out with both their skills up, let's say if Wiz and Veneer have just used both their skills and they're not ready yet, you can use Yin to get ult so they can ult and do more damage. Or if Yin did cooldown reduction, well, I guess this is more of a Chris thing. You can use Chris's cooldown reduction to make sure you can get, Wiz's lightning damage buff or lightning defense up. Sorry, you get the gist of it, right? Just so you can get a quick move in or quick ult in. That's why these characters are mostly used in the rear 1 or 2. Obviously, depending on the character, you're gonna have them in the front, but characters with ult up or cooldown reduction work really well in the back. Other than that, you can use Iris. Funny enough, is a really good example. Iris has a bunch of self buffs. Like this one boosts her agility. There's another one I think that boosts just her physical attack. So she's really good in the back because at that point you're just getting like 1 or 2 hits in. So it wouldn't matter if Iris just stays up and does nothing because you're pretty much just fishing for that one last good hit. So this is the team we are using. I'm going to go ahead and use... I'm just going to go ahead and... I'll use Luna because it gives the best stats. And I'm probably just not going to use it. Do note that Luna will hurt both these characters, unfortunately. And now gear-wise. So, because Veneer is our main damage dealer, we are going to go ahead and give him my strongest generic magic staff over his personal weapon. Once it loads. And then we are going to give Wiz her unique weapon as it can heal her when she's hit, which will help her stay up longer so we can make sure we get the most damage out of Veneer. Then defensive wise, since it is a boss that does electric attacks, we're going to give Veneer the +6 one that I have, and then Wiz the +5 one as I want Veneer around the longest. Best thing I can say is if you do have a unit up front, some game modes will have the unit who is in the front one slot get hit, like I know Dungeon does that a lot. Some other game modes sometimes do that, but for the most part it's going to be random, so it doesn't really matter what slot you put in. But for Melissa, I'm going to go ahead and give her a level 5 of something else, just so she takes a bit more damage and I can get Chris in faster. And then in a perfect world, I'm going to give Chris and Yin lightning ones as well. I just don't have them made. I have the materials for them, I just haven't made them unless I really needed them. So I'm going to go ahead and give them 2 +6 ones just because I don't particularly want Chris to die, and I definitely don't want Yin to die if she does come out, because then I'd be down to 2 characters. For weapons, we are just going to go ahead and give Melissa her personal weapons. It doesn't really matter. I have this one, but I haven't gotten enough materials to finish it out because I'm not sure if I want to build this or Veneer's weapon, so she'll do fine with that. Chris, of course, going to get this one because she still is doing wind damage. And then lastly, Yin, we're just going to give her that one. Not anything too crazy. And then sub traits. So with sub traits, you have a few options. Most of the time, you're just going to click your characters like this. Be like, okay, Melissa wants to hit harder. There we go. Veneer. Let's see what we got for this one. To scroll up, set to power attack. We'll just do Earth, and then we'll do Magic. These are the strongest 2. And they work for all the skills. And then let's say I want Chris to ult more, I would go ahead and, Wiz to ult more. There are characters such as this Mitsurugi who have a EX skill to get more gauge. Obviously, it depends on character to character, Personally, I'm not going to do that for Wiz, as I think it's just fine if she gets her ult at a slower pace. So we're going to go ahead and bring the legendary Wiz. And then we are going to bring this 3-star Wiz as she does magic up. And then finally, Chris and Yin Yin. I believe, yeah, okay, I do have 2 just normal attack Chris's, thankfully. I think if I was going to give a gauge up sub to someone to ult quicker, it probably would be Chris, but I think we will be okay. And then Yin Yin, this one is, okay, Earth, yeah. Took me a second, there's so many Yin Yins. Unfortunately for this Yin Yin, we're going to have to just give her this one. And then I think one of the 3 stars does magic up, if I'm not mistaken. The thing that sucks about certain characters like Yin Yin is it's all light based. So if you bring a character that's not light, she doesn't really get a good boost. Oh, we don't even have one. Okay, well, I guess the best one would be this Yin Yin, as she has the highest, oh, she still has attack. Ah, I forgot to unfilter it. Hold up. So with that, you would just go here. You go sub magic attack and 124. Okay, they're all 124 from the looks of it. So I'm just going to bring this one, as it'll boost her light magic when she ults. Obviously, she's probably not going to ult. But now let's get into the actual gameplay. So let's go ahead and begin. I am going to turn it down to 1 time speed, as in this game, if you just sit there, it is going to advance time. And I want to be able to explain it. So what you can do, right, is obviously you can, oh, it's on auto, anyway, so when you have a action filled on OK, you can actually wait along and see how Melissa's isn't filled the second time, but Veneer's is. That way you can fire off an attack and then immediately get back to Wiz again, like this. So we'll go ahead and hit that. So what I did, right, everyone has their skills used, but Veneer's almost dead. So we'd use this, obviously, to get our skills back faster, right? Unluckily enough, Veneer got hit a bunch, so we're going to try to normal attack. I'm actually going to wait so I can get the res shred back. This game is mostly about being quick to click skills so you can get skills off before an enemy attacks. Unfortunately, Veneer is dead there, but a lot of patience with skills and waiting the time. Like, obviously, I want to wait here. I'm going to go ahead and just do that. Bop. Hit him because he's about to do that. Go back to Melissa. Let's get the speed buff real quick. I will say I did misclick on Chris's skill on accident. He really likes to hit the middle slot. Alright, so Union is actually going to see some play here. Let's go ahead and do this. Bop. And then this should give us our ult with Wiz. Oh, but it killed. Alright, that's what I mean about characters like Yin Yin. Luckily, I just did a lot of damage, slash, just kind of like sat there at the beginning. So I'm going to go ahead and just play through as I normally would. But you can see how Yin Yin was helpful there to get ult. I think give it to Melissa instead of Wiz because it's not the greatest ult charging ult. But alright, let's play through this normally and you'll see pretty much what I mean. Do that. Attack up before we do this. That way we get the most damage. Do that real quick before I do the cooldown reduction. That way we have all the skills on cooldown. Reapply the res shred. Veneer really likes to get hit. Luckily we can heal him up here. Same with Wiz, just get some damage in. I'm going to wait since it's only like 1 second for Veneer to get the magic up again. Go ahead, attack there. Do that, that. That poor reindeer. He didn't get to do anything. But as you can see, that one went a lot smoother when I was just focusing on actually playing. I will say I do have some of the better Earth units, so it might not go as smooth just because I was doing a bunch of damage and pretty much just had a really good team for it. But that's pretty much the gist of it. Always just, be calm, wait for, certain buffs or debuffs. Obviously, I waited until the red shred was about to run out, then reapplied it. Obviously, if you have a character who does more damage and they're debuffed, you might want to, wait to use the skill, so you can debuff them. Unless it's just like there's like 2 seconds left and you're just trying to get damage off in something like Arena. Obviously, you should use the skill because it'll do more than a basic attack. But hopefully that helped you out. And if you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments. I'll try to help the best I can. I can try to do generic like team building, I guess. It's kind of hard because there's always like, oh, someone doesn't have this character, or they just started, or whatever it may be. So it's really hard to make a general team building guide. Hopefully, when I was explaining my team, that helped a bit. But yeah, like I said, let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and I'll catch y'all in the next Konosuba, or if it's Star Row, it's Star Row, But don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.